Well, hello, my name's Fred Edwards, and I am President and Chief Operating Officer at Goulston Technologies. Goulston is a chemical manufacturer here in Monroe. We've been here since 1969. I grew up in Mount Airy, North Carolina, attended North Surrey High School, and ended up at Wingate College at the time, now Wingate University, as they say. I ended up there mainly because they had a local recruiter who was very persistent. He kept calling me and said I was the type of student that Wingate was looking for, and I was more of an academic, so good grades, that sort of thing, and ended up going to Wingate. Well, I'd looked at a lot of colleges and universities. I knew as I went into high school and as I went through my high school career that I wanted to attend a 4-year university, and looked at a number of colleges, applied to 5 or 6, was accepted at all of them. It came down to making a decision really financially. As a first-generation college student, finances were an important part of that, and Wingate offered a reasonable level of scholarship so that I did not graduate with a lot of debt, and so it was very important to me to be able to fund my education and not end up with a lot of debt. Well, career-wise, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. During my high school time, I excelled in a number of the classes and the coursework that I did, and enjoyed everything from literature to science to math, and so wasn't really sure where I might end up. When I began my college career at Wingate, actually started in the business program thinking that I wanted to be a business management, but after the first semester of biology, really settled in on the sciences and obtained my degree in biology and chemistry. And that was the one and only time that I changed my major or really thought about what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do something in the science field. I went to school a long time ago, and more than 30 years ago graduated from college. And at that time, internships and job shadowing and things like that wasn't a big deal, not like it is today. We spent most of our time doing either community service or really focusing on our academics, and so I didn't really have an opportunity to do a lot of internships or anything like that. I did take a job while I was in college working in the medical field because I knew it was closely related to the sciences, was toying with the idea of medical school, that sort of thing, and really just wanted to pursue things on my own, so I went out and kind of looked for those kind of career opportunities. Didn't work out, but I was engaged when I graduated from college, and my wife saw an ad for, my fiance at the time, saw an ad for a job with a local chemical manufacturer, and I interviewed and was given a job in their research and development department. I think it's much more important today. It gives you an opportunity to explore careers and look at opportunities that may be out there, things that you may be interested in. I think that the more you know about the career path and what you might be interested in, then the more likely you're going to be successful in that area. Today, I think it's very important to explore different avenues and different things. If you're thinking that you might want to work in finance, you need to talk to someone in finance and explore some of that. I had the same conversations, I have 2 sons, with my children, so that they would understand kind of what the career path would look like. Do you want to work in an office setting? Do you want to sit behind a desk? Do you want to be out in the field? There are a lot of considerations now, and the best way to do that is to talk to people that are in those roles. I think that sometimes people know what their career path is going to be. I'm going to be an anesthesiologist, I'm going to be a firefighter, I'm going to be a teacher, whatever it happens to be. That wasn't the path for me. I really didn't know. So I kind of feel like I fell into it rather serendipitously. I remember my dad, he worked in a textile mill making socks, and he goes, "Don't get into textiles." And so I called him after I got my job, and I said, "Dad, I got a job and it's with a chemical company." He's like, "Great, it's not textiles." The next week I called him back and said, "Dad, it's chemical textiles." And he goes, "Don't get into textiles." But we're on the front end of that. So we're really a chemical manufacturer. So we don't make textiles. So we are associated with that industry, but not in that industry. But it's been a great career choice for me. So I started in research and development. Actually started doing physical testing and testing fiber and yarn and chemical properties and things like that. And ended up moving into sales about a year and a half after I started work at Goulston. And that was kind of serendipitous too. Our marketing manager came into the lab one day and says, "Hey, I've got a customer that's got a problem. We need to send someone up there." And he looked around and I was the only one in the lab. He goes, "So you're it. You got a tie?" "No, I don't." So he let me borrow his tie and put me in my truck and sent me to a customer in Hickory. And kind of connected with the client, with the customer. Loved being in the factory setting and learning about the manufacturing process and things like that. I was able to speak to the chemistry and how it impacts the performance of the yarns and what have you. And so it kind of worked out. So came back to my laboratory job, and a few months later they approached me about taking a position in sales. So I moved into sales and worked in the U.S. market for a number of years in sales. Then moved into sales management, then started working in the international sales markets. And then in 2012, I was asked to become the president and chief operating officer of the company. It was 1988 and I needed a job. And I had interviewed all across the state of North Carolina looking at various science roles and science fields, and there just wasn't a lot out there in 1988. I interviewed from Greenville to Greensboro to Hendersonville, talked to folks in a variety of companies, and when I interviewed at Goulston finally, it just kind of felt right. It was a smaller company, very family-oriented, family feel, and the feeling was right. So it's more about the company culture, and that's important as when you're considering a career path in the future after you've graduated, whether it's from high school and you're going into trades, or whether you've gone into a 2-year program and you've graduated and you're ready to get into the workforce, or whether you're going to a university or even after a graduate program. The corporate culture is very important, making sure that you're a fit for the company and that company's a fit for you. No regrets. This has been a good career for me and my family. I have enjoyed the path that I've been on. I have the opportunity to travel around the world, visiting our customers and clients in remote places in Asia, getting to travel to Europe and South America, and so I really enjoyed that aspect of my job. So no real regrets. The ups and downs, of course, come with the business cycles and things like that. If you find a career or a job that you're passionate about, work then is easy. I'm not saying that you're not going to have those days where that you're working through the drudgery and it's like, oh, I just got to get through this day or through this week or through this month or what have you, hit my sales targets and those challenges, all kinds of challenges that are out there. But it makes work a lot easier and more comfortable when you really enjoy what you do. And I love talking to people, understanding the problems that they're facing in their companies or in their manufacturing environments, and helping them solve those problems. Well, something that my wife and I say to one another all the time is, you do you. And I would say that to any high school senior that's thinking about whether it's a trade or whether it's a community college or whether it's a 4-year university, you do you. You find what's comfortable, making sure that it's really your choice and what you want to do, and be open to explore different things. I never thought that I would be leading a manufacturing company. I always thought of myself more as the lab rat, the nerdy science guy who liked to be behind the test tubes or looking through the microscope, that sort of thing. But as my career progressed and I began interacting more with people and understanding business practices, business principles, and things like that, I found that I enjoyed that just as much. And so now I'm very passionate about manufacturing and think manufacturing in America is very important to the success of the American economy. You look back and you say, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd done that. when I was at the university or at Wingate College, I took a lot of other classes. I still followed some of the literature and doing some of the creative writing and things that were just of interest to me. I probably would have looked for a career or a job while I was in college that was more aligned with what that I am doing now if I had been able to see into the future. But the jobs that I did while I was in college, it helped me weed out and understand I don't want to do this. I do not want this as part of my career, and kind of directed me to where that I am. I'm in the twilight of my career. So, my career has kind of come and is almost finished now. And I'm looking forward to retirement in the future as well. But I think the best thing that I could do as I end my career is to leave a company that's strong, that's successful, that doesn't miss me when I'm gone, that's able to carry on and be a strong, successful corporation even when I am not there. I understand that there's a lot of unknowns and it's easy to be fearful and be afraid, but don't be so afraid that it stops you from taking that risk and taking that chance. Explore things, look at things through a different lens, be open to opportunities that present them. You may think that you're destined for medical school and you find a different path that you like just as well. That's okay. You may think that you're going to be a financial planner or a banker or a business guy, and you get into that first business course and you go, this just isn't for me. Be open to change and accept that and welcome it.